Hey everyone, welcome to the BU show where we are unapologetically unique. And this week we want to kind of have a discussion around being uncomfortable and what that means as we look at growth in our personal lives and our business lives. So I'm your host, Sonia.
And I'm your co-host, Jen, today. Thank you, Sonia, for being here. How is it up in Canada?
Well, we've got this humidity thing going on and a bit of a, heat wave, rainstorm crash. There's a lot of weird weather going on around the country these days, both in Canada and I know many of our friends in the US as well. So,
yes, definitely. I'm getting used to the humidity here in Ohio, but I know our friends on the West Coast in the US are battling heat waves. But let's dive in to what we've got going on the show this episode.
So yeah, the one thing that's really kind of stood out to me a lot in the past few days is what does it mean to be uncomfortable and getting comfortable with being uncomfortable? Because when we are experiencing anything in life, but especially change, you and I have both gone through an awful lot of change and we know many of our friends are dealing with it too. We're coming off of this crazy pandemic in 2021 and 2020, and we are all experiencing change. So how do we become comfortable with that? And what does that mean for us? Because sometimes I think we can put too much thought into it or too much analytics into it. But then I know that there are some people who are very action oriented and they're just like, let's embrace change and let's go for it and dive right in. And they don't even think about the consequences. But, as we are just sitting back and reflecting on this, what is it that you think, Jen? I'm curious. What is it that makes you think about being uncomfortable? Like, what does that mean to you?
Okay. Change for the longest time would make me crazy. I cringed at the thought of change. I did not adapt well to change. Change is scary. Mm-hmm. 9 times out of 10, change is scary. We as humans do not like, most of us, change, but change is inevitable. And it's there to grow us and help us. And at first, we might not see it. I just finished a very nasty divorce. I did not like the thought of it. I was very scared, the what ifs, and the mind tricks that our mind plays. So during change, the way you think is so powerful. Your mindset is a powerful tool in this. So change is one thing. It's a lot about mindset.
Yeah, and our minds have the things that we put into our subconscious mind. Even there is a lot of power there that takes over that sometimes we don't even recognize. It's so easy to fall back into the old habits, old thinking processes, and just like letting those little doubts and fears creep up.
And the one thing too is most of us, we all go onto social media. Social media is a huge thing, and it's either going to help your mindset or not help your mindset. And it's one of those things, it's about who you surround yourself with. Sonia and I have never met in person. Yeah. We met through social media. Yeah. And it's the connection that we made that she helped me through my process of change. And that's one thing that you need to be aware of is what you're doing, what you're watching, because you can easily pick up that energy off those things.
Yeah, you're never really alone. And although I know I've had some times when I have felt extremely isolated and very much I felt alone. Mm-hmm. When we switch that in our minds to recognize that we really are never alone. And many people will go on social media then to avoid the emotional connection of feeling alone. Mm-hmm. But if you can use social media in a positive way in finding, some people to connect with, of watching programs, even like our show, where you can feel that you have a place to belong here, because We are unapologetically unique. We want to welcome everyone. We want to grow a community where that we are doing this because we genuinely care, and we want to be a voice of encouragement for you, and to give you a safe place where you can feel that you belong. Mm-hmm. So you're never really alone, and you can use social media for that purpose to fill yourself with not just positive mantras, but really just your overall thought processes. Because like Jen said, and it is so true, both her and I have experienced it, our mindsets and the way we see things are what really helps us push forward into that, next step of growth. Because growth is not always fun, but it's necessary. Otherwise, we have nothing to contribute to this world.
It's all about filling your cup, people. You are in charge of your destiny. You are in charge of filling this. It's not up to Sonia. It's not up to my daughter. It's not up to my friends. It's all up to you.
Right. And sometimes when you are going through part of your journey, or when you're feeling very alone or overwhelmed, you don't feel like you can make that step forward. And sometimes you need to have that other person to come alongside of you, whether it might be even in your business, it might be a mentor or your upline, in a friendship. It could be a friend, who you can trust, someone who will speak into your life and say, all right, I understand this is challenging for you, but I know you have the capabilities and of going further than where you're stuck at right now. And Jen and I do this
love.
Yeah, the tough love. And we understand this. We're not just preaching to the choir, because we do this with each other all the time. Mm-hmm. And it isn't always comfortable. We don't always like when we speak to each other this way, or having the other person speak to us this way, because that's the immediate response is, I don't like what that person's saying. I'm going to cut them off. But when we remain open, that's such a powerful word for me. There's so much that can come our way in terms of what we receive, how we are filled, and how we can, move forward in the areas of business or life that we need to be pushing through. So
definitely. Yeah. And it's those uncomfortable situations that you go through in life that are meant to push us and make us all better people. And right. It's the journey that we go to get there, that if you're open to change and you embrace it and learn to embrace it, and it doesn't happen overnight. And you know this, it takes a while to be like, okay, I've got to throw in a curveball, but it's going to be okay. And I can accept this change, and I'm ready to embrace it.
Yeah. I had heard a quote once that said, I think the quote was, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Yes. And I thought to myself, wow, we think life begins when we have everything in line and in order, and we're like comfortable. I'm like, oh, okay, now I can live my life. And yet that actually holds us back, right? There's like this energy that just keeps us stuck when we're too comfortable. Because when I think, this is just my personal opinion, but I think sometimes when we fall into too comfortable, we try to control everything. We try to say how things should be. And we try to say, that the universe, the life, everything should be this given to us this way. And yet I think there's a higher plan that, when we open ourselves up to being uncomfortable, amazing things start coming our way. And so life begins at the end of our comfort zone.
It definitely does. And that quote is so powerful, because our comfort zone is like so small. for most people. We get stuck in this little box, and there's so much more if you just take that leap of faith and just trust. And it's one of those things that once you do, it is so amazing.
And I think you have to also give yourself grace. Like you have to say, okay, today is a rough day. Today I'm, being challenged, but don't necessarily give up, right? Quitters never win and winners never quit, I think is another sports analogy quote that I probably received somewhere in my family upbringing. But it's so true, because if you just give up, if you say, okay, this business is too hard, I'm just giving up, then of course you're never going to have success. You're never even going to be able to experience what success might look like, because when it got a little uncomfortable or a little difficult, you just threw your hands up in the air and said, I'm done, and usually those are the times when you find the excuses that everyone, everything else wasn't working or everyone else wasn't supporting you, instead of looking inside to say, okay, what do I need to change? How uncomfortable do I need to get to move myself to this next level?
And I think you hit the nail on the head right there. You have to look within. And that's the scariest thing, because we as humans, as people, like to blame others most of the time and don't want to look at ourselves as, okay, what do we need to do to adjust? Is there something in my life that I need to adjust to make a balance?
Yeah. Even Jen, when you brought up mindset, like, we hear that term and people talk about positivity all the time. But I think one of the things with mindset is that we have to take responsibility for what we allow to come into our thought process, for what we allow to come into our mind, right?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So sometimes, we have to recognize, okay, I'm stuck right now in this swamp of, thoughts in my head that are not helping me, that are not moving me forward. And, find a shovel and start digging ourselves out. That shovel might be a friend, that shovel might be, a lifeline, or just journaling, something. Find something that is going to push you past that stuck phase. And truthfully, we want to remind you that you can get past it. If you're stuck in it right now and you're maybe not even believing that, everything we're saying could possibly happen in your life, we want to really be there for you, stand in the gap and let you know we have walked this path. We understand. And we want to be there for you. We know that, obviously we can't be there in person. Jen and I have never even been there in person for each other.
True.
Yeah. But, if you're watching this and, if you receive anything from this, we want you to receive the encouragement and the guidance and just what we have gone through, what we have walked through, we are hoping will help others. And we want to also share with you many different journeys, not just Jen and mine, but journeys of people that have different experiences in life. And maybe you'll find, someone that you can relate to and connect with. So with our YouTube channel and with our first Facebook page, we are hoping that you will follow us on our Facebook page, like our posts, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and share.
That is how we're going to get out there, is by you guys hitting that like, subscribe, share button down below. Share with your friends. Also share on your social medias, on your Instagram, Facebook. Let people know your takeaway, because that's what we hope to give you every week or every few days when we do our show. And sometimes we might even do it live, is a takeaway. And we hope with today's takeaway that you know that even though change is inevitable, it's gonna It all works out.
Yeah.
And like Sonia said, if you're not into journaling and stuff, record yourself. Do a video if you do better with that. If you don't like writing or don't like recording, do pictures, a little collage of what makes you happy. There are so many ways to get out what you're feeling. And that's I think the key to change and the key to accepting change is finding what works for you to help you through the process of change.
Right. And if you're doing that, leave us a comment below, especially on our YouTube channel. We love seeing your comments. We want to interact with you there. We want YouTube to see that we are having fun interacting together. But if you are doing something that is actionable in relation to what we've been talking about, please comment below so that other people can be also encouraged by your comments. This again, we are hoping to build a community. We're hoping to build a great group of viewers who hang out with us and have coffee with us, because Jen and I this morning needed a lot of coffee to get going. We're just so grateful that you've taken the time to watch and be a part of the BU show today. So anything else you want to add today, Jen?
Know what? I want you guys all to go out there and do something that scares you a little. Either post a selfie, maybe go and do a live somewhere, or maybe just talk to a stranger and say hello. Step out of that comfort zone today. I challenge you guys all to take that step and do something.
So with Jen's challenge, because we never want to leave you alone, Jen and I are also going to stand accountable for this. We will post it on our Facebook page. And if I forget, Jen will remind me, because now that I've said it, we will post on our Facebook page in regards to today's show what we have done that was uncomfortable to make us a little more comfortable. So you will always, I'm hoping you will always see us also participating in the different things that we share. But we are just, I don't even know what else to say. We're just grateful and we're happy to be having this time with you today. And if you're not a person who does share things on social media, because I know not everybody is willing to just put somebody else's material or business on maybe their Facebook page or whatever, send it in a message. Reach out to your BFF, reach out to your mom, your sister, your coworker, your brother-in-law, and say, hey, listen, I found this talk show and, maybe you'd like to take a peek at it. And we would love just to have you as a part of our community. So please subscribe.
Well, guys, I think that's it for today's show. I hope you guys got some takeaways. I know I did. Sonia, what about you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know that I'm always, open to kind of seeing where this conversation goes. And that's the other thing. So Jen and I have not scripted these conversations by any means. We want to be real and raw with you. And what is on our hearts and in our minds is what we're sharing with you. So my takeaway is I have to go and find something that makes me a little uncomfortable to do so that I can grow and be myself. So I can be you. I can be who I am created to be. So thank you for joining us this week on the BU show, where we are unapologetically unique.
We can't wait to see you guys next time. Tune in, like, subscribe, and share. We'll talk to you guys all soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.